The untold story of the American Civil War. Imagine a nation on the edge of collapse, where brothers could face each other on opposite sides of a battlefield, and entire cities become stages of destruction and courage. Before we dive into this whirlwind of fire, blood, and politics, I want you to do something. Comment below if you knew that Jefferson Davis was more than just the Southern president. And then, share this video with someone who loves history, because the story you are about to hear is absolutely breathtaking. Oh, and if you enjoy this tale, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell, because it's that bell that will notify you about epic content like this. The American Civil War, or the War of Secession, officially began on April 12, 1861, when cannons at Fort Sumter, South Carolina, fired on Union forces. But to understand the true engine of this conflict, we must look at the man who became the face of the South, Jefferson Davis. Born on June 3, 1808, in Kemper County, Mississippi, Davis came from a family deeply rooted in the American South. His father, Samuel Davis, was a struggling farmer, and his mother, Jane Cook Davis, was a woman of strong character who profoundly influenced his sense of duty and honor. From a young age, Davis displayed leadership traits. He studied at West Point, the famous military academy, graduating in 1828. His early military career was marked by courage and discipline. He participated in the Seminole Wars in Florida, gaining experience that he would later apply to both his political and military leadership. Pause for a moment and think, how many leaders today can combine military and political experience like Davis? Comment your thoughts below. After his military career, Davis entered politics. He was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from Mississippi and later became a U.S. Senator. His political vision was complex: a defender of the South, its agriculture-based economy, and the institution of slavery, yet a man with a profound sense of duty. He believed the South needed to defend its way of life, even if that meant breaking away from the North. And then came the moment that would forever change American history: the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860, a Northern president whose declared goal was to prevent the expansion of slavery. For the Southern states, this was unacceptable. Secession began, first South Carolina, followed by Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. And this is where Davis steps onto the stage as the leader of what would become the Confederate States of America, elected president in 1861, shortly before the official start of the war. The choice of Richmond, Virginia, as the capital of the South was strategic. The city, rich in resources and symbolically close to the North, became the beating heart of the Confederacy. During the 4 years of conflict, Richmond was a center of intense military planning, but also of terror and hardship, with civilians living under constant threat of attack and scarcity. It's staggering to imagine, amid such chaos, leaders and citizens held on to hope that the South could prevail. The early years of the war were brutal. The First Battle of Bull Run, in July 1861, revealed that this war would not be quick. Union and Confederate forces clashed in bloody confrontations, with thousands dead and wounded. Jefferson Davis, as commander-in-chief of the South, faced critical daily decisions: where to position troops, when to attack, and when to retreat. The pressure was immense, and each choice could determine the survival or collapse of his young nation. Throughout the conflict, Davis proved stubborn and strategic. He believed that a battlefield victory could force the North to negotiate, even against overwhelming odds. The North had 22 million people and a robust industrial base, while the South had 9 million, including approximately 3.5 million enslaved individuals. Yet Davis trusted in his generals, including Robert E. Lee and Thomas "Stonewall" Jackson, to maintain resistance. It's important to note that the war was not only fought on battlefields but also for social and economic survival. Plantations were destroyed, cities bombarded, and Southern daily life transformed forever. Human losses were staggering, around 620,000 soldiers dead on both sides, along with countless civilians affected by hunger, disease, and destruction. And yet, Davis maintained faith in the South, believing the fight was just and necessary. Richmond's resistance reached its climax in 1865, as Union troops advanced through Virginia. Davis attempted a strategic retreat, but the Confederate capital fell on April 3, 1865, shortly before the war's end. Jefferson Davis fled but was captured on May 10, 1865, ending his direct leadership of the Confederacy. His capture symbolized the end of a dream but did not erase his complex historical legacy. After the war, Davis spent years imprisoned at Fort Monroe, Virginia, never formally tried for treason. He wrote his memoirs, defending his actions and explaining his decisions as a leader. Even after his release in 1867, Davis remained a respected figure among ex-Confederates, a symbol of honor, courage, and tragedy. He died on December 6, 1889, in New Orleans, Louisiana, leaving a legacy that still divides opinion today. If you've made it this far, you're probably wondering, how could one man, surrounded by overwhelming adversity, maintain such determination? Comment below what impresses you most about Jefferson Davis and the Civil War. And if you know someone fascinated by history, share this video now, so this epic narrative reaches more people. The American Civil War was more than a fight for land or economy, it was a clash of ideas, cultures, and worldviews. The North and South represented conflicting values, and men like Jefferson Davis became symbols of that struggle. Richmond, the First Battle of Bull Run, strategic decisions, and the courage of civilians and soldiers shaped an unforgettable chapter in world history. Every battle, every order, every sacrifice reminds us that history is not just dates, but people, choices, and consequences. Reflecting on Jefferson Davis and the fate of a divided nation, we see that the past remains alive, influencing how we think about leadership, courage, and morality. If you felt the intensity of this story, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. The adventure of history has only begun, and in upcoming videos, we'll dive even deeper into moments that shaped the world.